One of the things that's important for my students to understand is how the wrists work, particularly in the downswing. And if you remember, your wrists are going to hinge back like so, while they also cock up. And when you do that motion, it starts on the takeaway, blended together, simultaneous hinging, cocking, it looks like this. So it looks like that. I have both my wrists are now fully cocked, full range of motion. And I have a flat left wrist, and a correspondingly bent right wrist. Now, I want to maintain my bent right wrist, or at least most of it, during release. Remember, the release section of the golf swing is from the get set position, our get set, or position 6, or halfway down position, to follow through. And I want to maintain that bent right wrist to somewhere around in here. Momentum will cause that angle in the back of my right wrist, we call it the hinge angle, to release back in line or nearly in line like so with your right forearm. But we want that to be done only from momentum, not from you. If you're an average golfer, mid to high handicapper especially, taking the muscles in your wrists and forearms and going like that. That's called a flip, which we don't want you to do. So we want you to learn how to uncock down, fully uncock down when the club is right around impact or just after, without also letting any, or at least not most, of that hinge angle release back in line with the forearm. We want it to not be back in line with the forearm, or start to be somewhere between about here and here in this area. And that'll produce a much more solid strike on the middle of the club face, on the sweet spot, with the proper amount of forward shaft lean, not too much, not too little. So you'll be able to use the true loft built into the club and get more distance. Most of our students are getting about 1 or 2 clubs more distance with their irons when they learn to stop flipping, okay? So we have a drill for this called the Woodchop drill. I'll show you the first version, the one that most people find easiest. From a normal setup, choke down about 1 inch, grab a 6 or a 7 iron. You're going to have the ball in the middle of the stance. And what I want you to do is hinge first, so pre-hinge. Do a full wrist cock so you can find out what that range of motion is, like so. There's my full wrist cock, maintaining my hinge angle. Do a half a wrist cock, like so, and then thump the ground 3 times, focusing on the wrists uncocking down. So kind of like medium pressure, medium speed. So it'll be like this. Okay, and that's what we want you to do for the drill. It's not part of our model. The model swing, that uncocking down, that vertical uncocking of the wrists should happen, but it should be happening because of a proper pivot motion. So we teach, as some of you know from other videos we've done and from this series we're doing right now, a passive wrist cock release. So this drill is employing an active wrist cock release only as a drill, as an exaggerated intention drill. Because right now you're taking the muscles in your wrists and forearms if you're an average golfer and you're going this way. As they go down, which is mainly from momentum, centrifugal force pulling the wrist cock angle open like so, as that's happening, you're taking an active muscle contribution and you're moving the club head in the entire golf club this way because of your flip while it's going down. So it's going down and this way simultaneous like this, and that of course is incorrect. That's the typical mid to high handicap release. It should be going down this way without losing any, or at least not losing very much of the angle in the back of the wrist. So we use this active release only for this drill. You have to time this motion. First the arms go, wrists and right elbow angle hold, then the right elbow angle begins to straighten while the wrists hold, then the wrists go down. So really, you're doing kind of a 1, 2, 3 sequence